welcome back to another Animation Throwdown video. This is Colin B189. For this video, I'm going to do something a little bit different than I usually do. No gameplay in this one. I'm just going to do a quick overview of the fighter BGE, give you some of my thoughts. Basically, some of my top 10 fighter combos in no particular order. I'm going to break it up a little bit to my top offensive combos, top defensive combos, and then honorable mention at the end to round out a top 10. So without further ado, let's go with the first one I want to talk about. This is going to be an absolute monster on offense in SFC, Rumble, everything. Coyote, Fighter, Chris. If you look at it, Fighter has a lot of craze combos. This is a craze combo in its own right. We all know craze is fantastic, but it's only for the last two generations. He does have some less ideal combos as well, especially with the Mythic, which is a little bit unfortunate. But if you can make this combo, it is definitely the best in my opinion, especially with the boosted gas as the BGE effect. It's going to be hitting up in somewhere in the 40s. And with the buff for defense being health, that's going to help eat through that really quickly. And it has the hijack to to combat some of the other top offensive combos you'll see in SFC. So for those lucky few that do have a lot of Chris's and combo mastery on this combo, you'll be having a good time, that's for sure. And next up, we'll have my personal favorite, Karate Stewie. This is especially good for SFC in Fighter right now with the high health. It already has a high input or high health input with Stewie at 58 for his legendary, and his mythic I think starts at 59. So if you look at some of the combo scores here, it'll be comboing somewhere around 160 with CM2, which I do have. I have 3 legendary Stewies and the mythic, so they'll all be in my deck for sure. And Karate Stewie also combos with every single fighter input in the game. So even if you have, I think Arcturian, can't remember the full name, Arcturian Kung Fu even makes this great combo. So big plus for some of you free-to-play players out there as well. It's going to get out of control real quick. I mean, punch, craze, boost. If you combo second slot after having this in slot 1, it'll be well over 100 attack, assuming no hijack. So my personal favorite in Fighter right now. Next up, in a similar regard to Karate Stewie, is Brainwashed Haley. Punch, jab, craze. There's not too much sturdy in the sturdy in the Fighter BGE, but it is still useful to have because you will see some cards out there that are not Fighter. The new Joe PC, I'm assuming, especially at the higher ends of gameplay, you'll see that quite a bit. So this is a great one to combat that. And it's also good because if it can break through that sturdy, get that craze going, get the gas going against something like the Joe PCs, it's going to be your best option to combat that. So that's my top 3 for offensive side, or going pure, power through slot 1, get that craze going. Next, we'll move on to some defensive and support type combos that I like in the Fighter BGE this time around. So my first one is going to be Bob, Christmas Punch Out, the name of it. I do have CM2 on this as well, and unfortunately it does not get made with Arcturian Kung Fu like Stewie does, and Haley as well. But I do like the skill set that it has, especially, like I said, lots of craze going around. So if the opponent combo something like, Stewie in slot 1, this is a great one to counter. If you look at it, 30-something, let's get one that's legendary. 24 Leech with Snot Rocket, a card a lot of people are going to have. 20 Punch, 14 Hijack. It's enough to really, turn the tables in slot 1 if you can get it made. If you have CM2, obviously this value is going to be quite a bit higher, like 30 Leech, 25 Punch or so. So I have 3 legendary Bobs, and I'm running all those in my personal Fighter deck right now, which I'm going to have in my next video do some SFC gameplay. Next up, we're going to look at Hank here. I have a CM2 on his Ass Kicker Hank, which is a really great one, especially for Rumble. Well, not really Rumble defense. Never mind, the character, the HP is too low. It would be great if he had higher HP, but even for SFC, hijack, sturdy, payback, It'll really eat up that first slot really quickly. Good to counter any Craze combo, really. Only thing I can think that would really beat it with Craze is Coyote Fighter Chris with that huge gas, because there is no way for Hank on his own to build up his own HP, no leech, no heal if you're using newer items. But another reason why I like him is because if you have a mix of first generation, second, third generation inputs, he does make Sticking Hank, which is a really great combo on its own right. Has this 30 and the payback, but also has some heal all to restore that line. So if you have a bunch of Hanks, this could be a useful one to mix into your deck to give yourself some variety, depending on what kind of combos you see in SFC. Like, if you're facing a deck full of Bobs, you're not going to want only Craze options. You want something else to counter that. So great option here with Hank. Next up is Zoidberg. So it's very similar to Chicken Fight with Peter. It has the Motivate and the Bomb, but no Punch. But the reason why it is near the top for my support and defense combo ranking is because it has Bodyguard. If you look through the combo map for Fighter, you'll see a huge lack of Bodyguard combos, something that's a really big problem, especially with Chicken Fight being such a popular common combo. It's just going to be something super important to have. And to combat the gas BGE, I'm running Mythic Zoidberg in my deck. I wish I had some Legendary Zoidbergs. Just a great combo in general, so highly recommend putting this in your deck, even if you don't have Combo Mastery. I have CM2, so I will definitely be using it. Next up, I'm going to go over a couple... Oh, sorry. Yes, of course, Stan. So, Mascot Fighter Stan is a great combo. CM2, I have it on it as well, and it's just going to really help eat up with the Hijack, Punch, Payback, great skill set. But the real reason he's in here is because of this new combo that just got released, Stan vs. Mafia. It is insanely overpowered right now. I mean, if you look at it with 2 legendary inputs, I mean, let's get one over here. 31 leech, 31 payback, 21 enlarge without any combo mastery. If you can get combo mastery 2 and a bunch of stands, it's going to be insane. I know for certain that the top guilds will have decks full of Stan and Fighter inputs, especially his health and Sturdy combined is going to be high enough to avoid one-shots in certain circumstances, but I think it's just going to cause huge amounts of chip damage with that huge payback score. So those are my defensive combos for Fighter, defense and support. So I want to go into a couple honorable mentions here. First one I want to mention is Bullock with Angry Bullock is his main combo, the reason that he is in this section of the video. Great offense and defense kind of hybrid. 19, well, actually, I need to keep looking over here for more representative values, because the reason why is because Zbot uses the max version of the Mythics, which gives ridiculous values that aren't really achievable by most people. But if we look at Goth, Dance Fight, and Bullock, 18 or 16 Craves, 18 Hijack, 23 Payback at no combo mastery. I do have combo mastery 2, but the reason he's not in my top 3 or 4 for the other sections is because his martial arts Bullock is not nearly as good. It's not terrible, but it does have really high gas value, which is boosted even more with the Fighter bodyguard effect. And cripple and shield all is not bad, but it's a little bit dated. The values are a little bit low. So overall, good combo. One that if you have Bullock, should consider putting in your deck. Even if you're at CM0, it really depends on what other combos you have. But with CM2, I'll definitely be testing him out a little bit to see what he can do for my deck. Next up, Bobby. So a lot of people might have been wondering earlier in the video why I had brainwashed Haley, but not Bobby in the offense when they have the exact same skills. 2 reasons. Bobby is significantly weaker as a character than Haley, so that makes all the values a little bit lower. And also, it does not make his good combo with the newest generation of inputs, which you're probably going to be wanting to use in your fighter decks. It makes Noble Fighter Bobby with Generation 2 and 3, which is okay looking at first, but I just feel like it's an absolute like meat shield that's gonna just feed into Craze combos like Karate Stewie and Brainwash Haley. So not something I really want to use in my deck. Although the bodyguard is nice, like I said with Zoidberg, there's not too many bodyguard options, but this one just is not really good enough in my opinion. It's a good counter for like the chicken fights, but there's so much Craze, I just really can't see myself going for this. It's too slow moving to really defend an SFC. And last two I'm going to talk about together, Frye and Peter. Clawplock Frye and Chicken Fight, super common, characters, combos that are really strong, but just not as strong as some of the other ones I had in this list. But if they're your best options to fill in a deck, if you have CM2, CM3 for them, by all means, you're going to have a great time. They are great. Fighter is full of really great options, so I think Peter and Frye both make wonderful additions to any fighter deck. Clawplock with the huge bomb value, huge cripple. Both Clawplock Frye and Chicken Fight were Rockstar's last time Fighter was around when bomb was boosted. I mean, Clawplock Frye was CM2 was bombing in like the 50 bomb range, which is crazy. So these are my last two combos on my honorable mentions, and just wanted to point them out there that don't feel bad if you don't have enough of the characters to make some of the other ones on my list. These are probably in many people's top 5. And the reason why they're not in my top 5 is because the health boost BGE is just not conducive to their strengths. You want to be bombing that slot 2, try and take it out as quick as possible, but with combos and items in the upper 70s, 80s, and then combos in like the 150s, 160s, I just feel like it's going to be a little bit too slow moving when your opponent is comboing like Karate Stewie or Brainwash Haley in slot 1. So that is why they are not in my personal list. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and look forward to an SFC video of me playing in SFC with my fighter deck shortly.